Hello and welcome once again to Wandering Monster America's Test Table, where we don't playtest games. We stress test them. My name is John Baltusberger.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
I'm Bridget
Ian,
Brave.
Ian Servas.
That was Bridget Brave and Ian Servas for anyone who got
Yes,
confused.
we were.
Together at
Yes.
last over
I
the
will know
internet.
my place eventually. I will.
No,
I
that
will,
was
I
a.
will be.
It
I'll
was a
be- I'll be
mashup.
the penultimate.
It was a
and then-
mashup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You two, like, you did a Dragon Ball Z. You did,
Yeah.
like, because you're next to each other on the screen. So all you really had to do is that.
It's like,
But you guys
Wait,
just
I'm
didn't
thinking
commit. Other sides, guys. Next time we'll get. No. All right. Let's move
other
on.
side,
I'm
other
Mr.
side.
Pashke, and I'm derailing the show this quick. Hi. Hello, internet.
Friends, so there's this beautiful space. It's not at all a cesspool. If you took IRC in MySpace and you sort of kind of mashed them together, and then you added the self-importance of LiveJournal, you'd get Twitter, is what I'm trying to say here.
That checks out.
yeah, accurate.
Fact check me, bro.
The only thing I can think is that both MySpace and LiveJournal have significantly higher character counts. That's
I will tell you, I got a email from LiveJournal letting me know that I had a free birthday gift from LiveJournal because I've been on LiveJournal for 23 years.
Is
Uh,
listening
are they
Drop
device.
your live journal
Are
in the
they-
chat.
Are they
He's
giving you a
listening
free
device.
subscription to Dead Journal?
So
Do you
okay,
still have an
okay.
Angel Fire
Hey,
page?
hey, shut up. I did have an Angel Fire page for my poetry because I was a poet in high school, which is all you need to know you didn't want to know me.
Ah.
I a while back, so I as John Baldusberger love tea. I as the owner of Madness Heart Press avoid drama and controversy. I see it happening, and so long as it's not like reaching its greasy tendrils towards us as like an entity, as a family, as long as none of my authors are involved, I stay far away from it. Where I make note of people who are being toxic, but I just like anyway. A while back, there was let's call it a kerfuffle because a reviewer, very strongly, very stringently stated a book can either be science fiction or it can be horror. There can be no horror in space because space is science fiction. At which point I knew I'd get one. At which point the entirety of horror writer TikTok lost its goddamn mind
Yeah.
and started naming, I don't know, every single movie that's ever taken place in space as also being a horror movie because space is scary. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Mr. Bernard has two legitimate fears. One is the vast, deep darkness of space. The other is the vast, deep darkness of the ocean because in
both are
either of those places,
that people should not go ever for any reason. Yeah, like
Uh,
inimical is the word I'd use.
so and related, they're places I find extremely fascinating, and I rub myself with black lotion to kind of make myself feel like I'm in a oceanic womb. I love the ocean. The ocean is a place that I have a lot of fondness for, a lot of respect for. Space is a place that I find terrifying. Not simply because if I were in space, I would immediately die, but because the vastness of the ocean is mind fuckering. If you consider the sheer size of the ocean, your brain will collapse in on itself. And that is that the ocean is the merest, most microscopic quark compared to the vastness of space. there was a movie once upon a time called Alien. You may have heard of it. Stop me
I
if you
did hear
have.
about it.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sleeper. Not a lot of people know about Alien. The tagline of Alien was "In space, nobody can hear you scream," and I bring all that to say that space is a fantastic place for horror, for action, for romance, for any kind of stories you want to tell. But the basic fact of the matter is that if you're in space, it's kind of already game over, man. You already like there's no dropship. You can't nuke anything from orbit because it's space. And if you're in space, you're already fucked. Anyway, we need to get to the game. I'm sorry for rambling. Ian, what are we playing tonight?
And I thought I was going to derail the show. Hold on, sir.
6 minutes later,
I want you all to know that Ian's laughing with joy.
Mom said it's my
Oh
turn
my
to
gosh.
derail.
That is, I also appreciate that you were alluding to Alien, but all your references were aliens.
Yeah.
So Pitch Black's a classic, by the way. Just
That is
I didn't know you were on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh no! I'm a big fan of it. Sigourney Weaver was definitely one of my heroines growing up. So we are playing You're in Space and Everything is Borked, or you could use your other colorful word there. We're a kids show, right?
Fucked. Everything is fucked.
I think
See,
you get real loud.
I very purposefully click the "not for kids" button on
Yeah,
I
YouTube
was
every
just
single
kidding. I was
week.
trying to elicit a reaction.
Yeah, you were trying to elicit
Well,
children
mission
to watch your
accomplished,
show.
mission fucking
Bad.
Happy to
accomplished.
provide one. Happy to provide one.
That one episode that we were just yelling inappropriate curse words for like 3 minutes solid. That was one of our best episodes.
People love it when we're raunchy, guys.
I'm just now
So-
thinking about my neighbor, even through the sound foam, hearing just like
The one
faintly,
that's frying fish right now.
everything
about-
is fucked.
I think about how
Yeah.
I have a person I
Balls.
work with that watches this show, and he was definitely on
Sorry.
here for Bridget's the only one who could say twat night.
Wait, I'm sorry. You can only say what?
I was the only one that was allowed to say twat from a certain
So
point going forward.
I'm not allowed to say twat.
No, John, stop saying twat, John.
Wait, can Charles say twat?
No, Charles can't say twat. Other Charles can't say
Shit.
twat. Just Bridget.
Ian?
Only me.
Ian.
Ian might be able to say
Puts
twat.
into a box.
Fine.
So,
Tell us twats what's up.
wouldn't you like to know? So we are playing You're in Space and Everything is Fucked. Which is
It's like the show.
a gruesome sci-fi horror
Exactly.
by Nevin Holmes. And this is published by Downberry Games and is being kickstarted right now. So if you like games that really invoke the horrible things that happen to you in space, this is a game that would be for you. It's designed at its core for a intimate two-person experience where you have the station versus the struggler. But it also is being adapted so larger groups like us can play this and engage in it. So at its core, there is a mapping function in this, just like liminal space or other games where you have exploration being the core horror, but this strips it down to a faster process that also invokes a lot of quintessential video game survival horror games. In fact, one of the fun features that's really unique in this game is that if you are in a space that's not actively trying to kill you in a horrible way, you can burn a certain resource point, like a luck point, to make it into a safe space. So if you die a gruesome death, you respawn at that point. So you can keep exploring and dying again and again and again, and whatever your malute is.
I
There's
think that
also-
having a save point as a feature is such a fun idea in a
It
tabletop game.
is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it lets you be able to engage in really horrible things and have it go terribly wrong, but then it also invites itself to more horror. And you have to figure out too is that relationship between player and GM. Are you rebooting? Or do you come across your own mangled corpse that you have to loot your own items off of? And that itself is this existential dread. Like then you can invoke tropes as, am I a clone? What is the meaning of my existence? Like, so it's not just like a cop out to make a game easier. It's really an invitation for different storytelling that we're so intimately familiar with, the people that grew up playing video games. But
You know, I did an interview on randomly generated encounters, which will be on YouTube tomorrow, or if you're watching this on Friday, already on YouTube. And we talked about how there are different mechanics that are used a lot, but when used right, really invite interesting, cool gameplay. And I think this is one of those times.
absolutely. So this is a rules-light game that really emphasizes on exploration and then improv. So the core of this really is a back and forth exploration with the station and the struggler. Or in your case, you're all strugglers. And speaking of being strugglers, why don't you introduce yourself? Now, since this isn't space, then the rules are going to be different. So we're going to need someone that has to get voluntold to be the person to introduce their struggler.
Well,
I
I've
volunteer Charles.
I've never gone, so I think it'd be fun for me to go first. I tonight will be playing Pinus Lorvalds. I am a sys-tech, a system tech. I have big Coke bottle glasses, and also in the game too. I'm wearing a novelty T-shirt, and also in the game too. Might be out of school sim. I definitely haven't gone to school sim lately, so that's anxious again. Really likes touching wires like a lot. Yeah, that's. I think I should have read this more carefully. Like
Does this
this
character
is.
have a dog?
It's a little too true to life.
Yeah.
No. I'm your basic technical dork. So tonight I will be operating by wits alone, and I am aboard this godforsaken place wherever we are as one of its many disposable system techs. We live in a future where it's actually like just add water system techs. They just like it's like kind of like sea monkeys. It's like a little dry packet, and you like pour them into the tank, and then you feed them until they get big enough, and you can take them out and put them right in a chair. So that's me.
You have to like rehydrate them with Monster.
Yeah.
They're all named Kyle.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Okay.
Don't
Well,
look at me. I've
if
introduced
we're all
myself
just gonna
already.
dance about here, let me just. I just want you all to know that I could really use a personal loan. I know payday is coming around, but if anyone has $20 that they would be willing to bestow upon me, that would be delightful. My name's Ralph Fleegum, which is odd as my teeth have gotten a parasite that are fleas. I don't think that's on my character sheet, but I'm gonna assume it's
That
accurate.
doesn't matter. It's yeah.
These fleas are a real and constant threat for all
Yeah.
people with teeth.
I'm going
That's
to
right.
accept that now as canon. That is.
Yeah.
Your teeth scurry off in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. That clacker along the decks of the ship.
Hmm.
All right. So Ralph is the custodian.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'll go next. I am Martin Gates. I am a lawyer. I have a tool of choice, which is a laser saw. It's called the Errant Problem Solver MK2. It's basically just overrated garbage that stabs and pierces. It does nothing else cool. It uses a lot of batteries. It doesn't do much damage. And then I have this part of my file here, but this is confidential. This is something I can't discuss with you.
Attorney privilege.
Mhm.
And I'm Tony. Yeah, I'm Tony. I'm what's known as a scientist, right? I've spent the last 30 years of my life studying well, the technical term, right?
Science.
The technical term, right, is grays. aliens. Now, some of y'all might think that aliens is a boring subject. I'm here to tell you that just is not the case. Aliens is very interesting. Sorry, grays. You could also call them squig squams, areolas, although not to the face. And look, there's lots of woods and lots of different languages. Aliens is cool, y'all. Aliens is neat.
Wait, how often have we been invaded by areolas?
It depends on how often look, my friend, it depends on how often you read an Ed Lee book, honestly, for real. But what I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of people get a little temperamental about aliens. They get a little wishy-washy. They ain't sure how to feel about them. I'm going to tell you, aliens is our friends. Aliens are in a way holy and sacred to me, and probably to you too if you look into your real heart. We all have a real heart that's actually located right next to the prostate, and in women, it's located next to the secret prostate.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Anyway, look, I could go on and on. I'm a science guy, right? I look at the science of these beautiful, magnificent grays. That's me. That's Tony. Pleasure to meet you.
Is Tony's last name Science? Is Tony actually Dr. Science from back in the day? From Ask Dr. Science?
Tony.
Tony's last name is Coke.
Mm.
And
That was my
and
second guess.
Let me tell you, he is a fan. Aliens.
So, with that introduction of our cast of strugglers, the first thing that we need to really do is establish what our scene is. And so originally I was thinking that this is going to be a space station, but how we have this kind of interesting menagerie of quasi space yokels, as it were. I feel like we should be on some type of backwater planet somewhere, like rimwards, like in a very distant quadrant. But I'd like it to hear from the four of you working together as a team. Tell me, where is it that you have been working and that you find yourself?
Well,
look-
Tinus likes it rimwards, I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
Oh, I thought there was going to be more.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
was
all
ready for you
waiting.
to expound upon that.
Okay, well,
Can you delve into your preference? Can you like spread some knowledge about
Yeah.
the rim worlds?
Do they have corn there?
What I'll do
We
is
really
I'll
need the subject to be penetrated, Charles. That's what I'm getting at.
what I'll do is I will gracefully move my tongue and spread the mystery open so that you can taste the what's inside of it.
Don't like that.
so
Don't space shame me.
That's
Perfect
Tinus
time to
is,
talk about safety tools.
Tinus is on the run from student loan sharks.
Mm.
And unlike real world student loan sharks, these ones actually will not only steal your organs but clone you so that they can steal them over and over again. And Tinus is not happy with that idea, so he's been heading out away from the galactic core, just trying to stay one step ahead of these. Well, they're not really loan sharks because they have the blessing of the state and gentry alike. So yeah, I don't know. That's a bitch.
I would like to postulate here that Tony has actually hired all these people. He's a trust fund kid. And as like, all right, I'm gonna go to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, right? I'm gonna find new grays. They might not even be gray, y'all. They could be any color. It's true. I know, it's shocking. But he needed someone who could work the computers, someone with them that geek smart. He needed someone that could keep the ship clean. And he needed someone to tidy up all the legal mishmash. You know, if I happen to get caught with some contraband, or say a ritual Xenos dagger that is used to sacrifice humans to an alien god, any of those, I got a lawyer who can, cover the tracks.
Tribble importation, anything.
whatever happens, you know.
And see, I don't appreciate the being referred to as a struggler. I'll have you know, I did graduate from a very prestigious university, and once the allegations have cleared about who and fraud and what, I'm sure they'll be accredited again. So I'm,
Did you, did you graduate from Trump University?
no,
Space Trump University?
no, no.
God,
No.
You know, Space Trump kind of turns into Strump if you mash it
Strump.
together, which is fun. Yeah.
Trumpets.
It was Trumpet University. Space Trumpet.
Home of the world's oldest profession.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is from your tales is that there was a derelict abandoned your research facility on a distant moon that has been bought and purchased by Tony's estate and retrofitted, fixed up to continue experiments.
I like that you said estate instead of dad. It makes it feel fancy like.
Hey, when you're paying me as much as you do under the table, I can afford to give that rimward service.
I'm glad we have an understanding.
Does the state
So this research station, it actually, here's the thing. It actually is currently in orbit around a world where alien ruins have been found before. So that is what we is doing there. That's why I was there. Why I got this this badass. My lawyer tells me it's not a ship, it's a station. Don't understand the difference, but that's where we is.
Okay.
And it's
Ralph,
wanted
you
to
were
remember that
saying?
anything that happens on the station, anything you may see my client snort, we do not want to. That's not something that needs to be discussed beyond these walls.
I've signed the NDA, okay?
I'm just happy to be involved, and dental is covered. That's what I was told.
We'll get you all kinds of teeth, brother. All kinds of teeth.
Because I'm down to only a handful,
Oh,
and
he's
I
gonna die
really,
first. It's just breaking
Your
my
dental
heart.
already is covered, man.
I mean, look,
Parasites.
I have
Yes,
a
that's-
hankering for
thank
beef
you.
jerky, and it gets eaten before I gets to eat it.
That is a sad
All
fight.
right. So the four of you have been part of this space station that is orbiting around a distant moon upon a planetoid that there's been the history of ancient alien relics and architecture and other strange things. And you know that over the last couple of weeks, there's just been oddities around the station, the quintessential odd dark whispers that are coming through the equipment. The radio frequencies are filled with harsh static that seems to know your name. The plumbing fixtures seem to be dripping blood. People seem to be becoming progressively unstable, and life support systems are failing. And so you happen to have been deeply asleep one night, of course, with very disturbing, unpleasant dreams when all the klaxons in the station began to just blare at once. And you know that these are the worst of the ones. Like, this is that sound that invokes the tornado siren plus it's like, have you heard like the Israeli sirens for like the civil defense?
Well, they can't possibly be cooler than those old air raid sirens.
Those are really cool. I listened to a TikTok where people are comparing and rating like different country civil defense like alarms, and like there's some really wild ones. But yes, but so
Are you going to do the alarm noise for us?
Oh,
Please
no,
make it with
I'm
your
going to
mouth.
delegate that to Mr. Paschke because he is a much better maker of sounds than me. So being put on the
Has he seen
spot,
it?
Ralph, give me your best space station klaxon or system warning sound.
All right. I hope I don't like max out the audio channel, so I'm sorry in advance if this goes too far.
Oh shit!
The
Oh
coffee is
shit!
part of it. The coffee is part of it.
I'm surprised that hasn't been in a movie already. That there's like an alarm.
If,
And after a minute,
if
it's
you
like,
are if you're listening to this, you have to see the video of our castmate.
Shit. Hey, hey, engineer. I can't remember your name, Charles.
yeah, I'm Tinus.
Tinus. Yo, Mr. Tinus.
And I wake up, and I should mention that I sleep curled up next to my portable AI device, which has a waifu picture on it, which is
Oh, gross.
Describe the waifu.
and yeah, it's Sakino from High School DxD. So yeah, Akino,
Ugh.
excuse me, that's how you pronounce it. And
As a quick, go ahead.
go ahead. No, that's it. I wake up
Yeah.
and
As a
hurriedly
quick
put her back
finishing
under the
this,
pillow. Yeah.
as a quick finishing the scene, you know that your immediate place that you need to get is a rendezvous point where everyone's supposed to be meeting in case of an evacuation. And so it is going to be in the very center of the facility at a security checkpoint that you are all going to be meeting and trying to figure out what's happening and how you can escape.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm heading into the checkpoint, and I'm assuming that there's a console there that I can jack into.
Yep.
I love that that was a cyber term at some point.
So the security checkpoint is a large central room in which there are doors on each of the four walls. All the security personnel are present and accounted for. What's not present and accounted for is all of their flesh and vital organs. Their mangled corpses are slumped, piled up behind the desk, and some of it looks to be melting and fusing together. They're like jaws are just dangling open with like dead fish eyes staring out at you. There is a computer terminal that is sitting there just with a blinking screen, and eventually the klaxon coughs heartily and then cuts out.
All right.
Um,
After I'm done puking, I will obey the dictates of my master and go see what the hell's going on. So I'm
Now-
going to go to the. Go ahead.
This is obviously the work of Manda Floors. I'm not good on the alien names tonight, so I'm just picking shit out of Star Wars. So you find out what they want, where they're coming from, right? What legally speaking, what are we on the hook here for? I ask our lawyer as as engineer starts doing his thing.
Yeah, give out the assignments and then let's all roll in sequence because I imagine you probably want some of this cleaned up.
All
as
the
well.
scoop, yeah. And hey, Ralphie, buddy.
Yeah. Grabbing,
I know-
grabbing
I
them
know-
off already grabbing it.
Yeah, all right, cool. Because we like, I know ideally now the flesh would be on the people.
That
but-
is hindering them, I'm pretty sure, of living.
Worst case scenario is it's on the floor, right? And that's kind of your purview. You're the expert on that.
It's definitely a tripping hazard. I know that from my training before I came on board.
And that would be a
all right,
lawsuit.
good.
So yeah, we wanna,
I don't
yeah.
think there's a material safety data sheet for the red liquid.
Which direction are the blood streaks from leading? Which of the four doors it looks like maybe there's been something dragged across the floor and beyond the door?
I'm gonna do my check the systems real quick. So let me just before we go any further, let me see if I've got this
I
system
was in
right.
the middle of asking Ralph a question.
Oh,
but
okay, all right, go ahead,
Oh.
Mr.
Which door is that, Ralph?
Well, you see, there's the one that has been rusted closed that I know I am supposed to be fixing it. And it's just not been a thing that I've had the time to do with my extracurricular activities that I should really cut down on. Anyway, it's $20 and anybody. I just like $5 even. $5 are fine.
All right.
But
Is that-
it's the rusted door that I was supposed to fix 2 months ago. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, so the door to the west then.
Yeah, that's the.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what is west when you are in space, sir?
Well,
Well,
it's all relative to your.
west is the side of the tree that the rust forms on. So if that door is rusted, it's to the west.
So if my character had fixed it, then we would have lost all sense of direction. So really,
Yep.
he did you all a favor.
Yeah.
True.
Okay,
Yeah.
because we are going to be making a map, so that's why I'm keeping track of directions and details. So going back to you, Titus, if you go ahead and make me your tech roll. So for you, that is going to be your 2d6. And with this game, one of the things that, and this would go very well for John, is that you also need to advocate how you use your two core stats, which are flesh and tech. And then you are advocating for what advantages you think that your character might have based on their background or their skills or their experience. And the station, me, advocates for what type of disadvantages you might have based on how many wounds you've incurred, situations that are occurring, and so forth. So that being said,
I think that probably you're gonna win the advocacy concert or contest. Concert? I don't know. Can you win a concert?
I like concert.
Yeah, you're gonna win that concert because
You better win it. Yeah.
you're
I
going to be doing
rolled
multiple.
I rolled a 2 and a 1, so that's a combined 3 on my strongest skill.
Okay.
But yeah,
So-
definitely, I would think that that's like what I was hired to do in the first place was, you know, fix this kind of problem. So I'm actually going to burn one of my 2.
Well, if you
Uh,
advocate for that, you don't need to burn per se, as much as you
Okay.
say that. Like I think that since I am a systems admin, this is a consistent admin, I should get
Yeah.
advantage, and so you roll an extra d6. Now, how
Okay.
the checks work in this is that you're rolling each d6, and you're seeing if the result is a 5 or a 6. If you have a 5 or 6, then that is a success or a hit.
Okay.
So
Like
it's
a
not
one
your
more
sum
chance.
total.
Come on. Oh, and it's a 6. I
Well,
passed.
there you go. So you
Nice.
have a mixed success or a Pyrrhic victory in this, in essence. So, what is it that you're doing as you are connecting into the computer system? What type of information are you looking for?
Well, I'm connecting by using my good old-fashioned fingers on the keyboard, and I am looking to figure out why the alarm went off.
Okay. So you are looking through system feed information on cameras, looking for like what was happening, and you see this terrible montage of just vicious visceral images that just assault your senses. You see people getting their bodies flayed and like heaped up in the very room that you're in. You're seeing things chase people down a corridor, and by thing, it's literally like the camera itself just refuses to take a better image of it. And you think that in the corner of some of these images, you see something almost reptilian, just very much out of sight, that kind of lurks in all the images. But there is just a staccato of just terrible blasphemous things. And you notice that some of those things that the camera had a hard time taking like still images of, or just like a feed, even though this is a previously recorded film, they turn and look at the camera and they start heading your way.
Cool. And also scary.
Mhm.
I like that. I like when pre-recorded videos interact with the present day
Yeah.
in creepy ways.
Yeah. And I'll just fill my my compatriots in
Roll
on
me
the goings on.
d6.
Okay, you got it. That is a 5.
You know that those things, the stills, were 5 rooms away.
Okay. Guys, we've got 5 rooms between us and some seriously bad shit, is what I'll say. They
5
are
rooms
headed
in which
our way.
That seems a little bit xenophobic to me, my friend.
Well, why don't you come on over here and have a look at this footage? And I
will.
invite him over too.
I'm going to
Why don't
okay.
you go say hi to them?
Ian,
Yes.
even though I'm a terrible schmuck, I have spent my entire life studying aliens. And I feel that I should be able to if not identify what's happening and what these things are, maybe I have heard stories of other horrifying incidents as of like in the same style of this.
Absolutely. So go ahead and roll me for that. And so this is kind of in between the two stats. So I will let you take your pick. I will consider this flesh for the fact that these are fleshy things, and you're not necessarily using technology per se. So go ahead and make me your check and get advantage on that.
Advantage?
Yes,
That means
so
I.
Roll one more, I believe.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
more
yeah.
dice.
Oh, thank God. I got a 6.
So you've
just
heard
one
tales whispered
success?
around the urine condenser.
So that's just one success.
Yeah, one success.
Okay. So you are fairly certain that you're having some type of thinning of the veil or some type of demonic incursion that is occurring here. Do you know that there was that terrible experiment that you personally had authorized to run using some type of technology scraped from the planetoid surface? What exactly were you doing?
I believe that demons are simply aliens of a different nature. They are demons, right? Demonic incursion
Bring
are
back to two in the book.
are alien gods. They are the thing that I have been trying to please and trying to bring forth. So, in essence, this is exactly what I wanted. However, I was hoping for more of the like sensual nipple clamp style alien gods than the devour all flesh alien gods.
Well,
Well,
you don't get to.
Sometimes
wanted
those are the same alien
Cenobites?
gods.
Yeah. Sometimes you get Cenobites and sometimes you don't.
You don't get to pick your alien gods. Your alien gods pick you. So
Hopefully for sex.
So you have. So in this game, you need to have an objective, and we usually kind of set one together. Initially, I was thinking that your objective would be to reach an escape pod and get out of here, but perhaps really it's to be shut down the terrible experiment that you have running that is causing all of this to happen. As the group of you, since you are going to try to survive, hopefully together, what are you going to really be setting as your objective? Escaping or maybe trying to stop whatever's happening?
I think we should shut down the experiment because there are valuable relics. And even though this portal brought something that I do not want inserted inside of me, that doesn't mean it can't be, like, we can't retry it and
You know
hopefully
what?
get a different door.
A true scholar. I respect the hell out of that. I'll help you with that. My guy's on board.
My character would take a little bit of convincing, but you should be able to get him to want to stay. Use your reaction, bail.
Ralphie. Look, how long has your family worked for my family?
Well, my grandfather worked for your great grandfather, and he hired him as a child and helped basically raise
That's
him.
right.
He was blind and basically got him the prostitute that became my grandmother.
That's
Anyhow,
correct.
so we've kind of just been around. I mean, a bit.
Have we ever steered you wrong, or have we in fact gotten you the prostitutes that have been the women and men in your family tree?
Well, my
That
cousin
never
did.
steered me wrong.
My cousin did die as a result of your father's orders to not clean the air filters, and that is how he died of carbon monoxide poisoning. That was your father's doing, not yours.
That was a test. That was a test. That was a test, and one that we all failed, Alfie.
So wait,
We equally all failed that.
is this another test?
This is not a test. I need
Can I
you
remind
with
you
me,
both that
buddy.
these are all still allegations?
Yes, that's right.
That's true. Allegedly, it was a test. And allegedly, not allegedly, actually, we need to get the fuck out of here and shut this whole thing down, Ralphie. And I need your help.
I will grab my circular saw.
So, you have 4 doors leading in various directions into the facility. Every time that you step through one of these doors, it is a randomly generated room on the other side. So this is a procedurally generated crawl.
Love it. I love that kind of shit so much.
The other thing that is worth knowing as an important action for all of you is that you can loot rooms and bodies. And either, depending on the success level of your check, you can keep what you find, or you can also burn like a luck point so you can actually pick an item from the table if you really need something helpful in a pinch. Because
cool.
the game is stacked against you as far as the creatures, as you will see. As you know, things are bounding towards you. So think quick, because you know that your clock is ticking.
I think we are.
Is there anything to loot from the bodies?
Well,
Not
that's where you
skin.
need to take a check. So you would go ahead and make me your 2d6 check.
Okay. Oh, that fell on the floor. Gone forever. So 4 and a 3.
Okay, so no success.
No,
So
not
that
at all.
is 7. All you find is a note in this pile of bodies, and it's soggy, it's blood-soaked, and it's very hard to read.
Thanks. That just makes it impossible for my character. Sorry, joke.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So I have a soggy note. Can I attempt to read it?
Yeah, absolutely. So
You
part of this
melt
to invite you
kitty
to
litter,
tell me
oranges.
what you think the note should say. Perhaps this note is telling you, maybe giving you a bit of advice, or maybe some more information on what's happening here, or maybe it's just a red herring, but you get to insert yourself a little bit into what this object is.
So I
You don't
think
say.
it should be a note that has some vague inkling as to what happened, but since it's hard to read, it's not clear enough for us to actually know how.
Even though the indelible marker is bled a lot with the blood, it definitely says at the top, "Fuck Tony." And then underneath it says, "No, really, fuck Tony. He's fucked us all." And then it says, "The important thing you need to know is," and then
Allegedly.
there's this like, no, it says definitely fuck Tony. It doesn't say allegedly fuck.
Look. What I do with consensual adults behind doors of every door of the space station
Okay,
is
stop talking.
Tony's. Yeah.
I think it might have just been a to-do list.
But you know that the door to the west is the rusty one that hasn't been repaired, and there are blood trails leading to there. And that might also be the direction that those things are still moving steadily towards your direction as you're sitting here.
And that's to the west?
That's to the west.
Well, east would take us furthest away, correct?
That's relative at this point, because you don't know the
I'm
distance
asking all
behind each door.
my compadres here.
Yeah,
I'm useless without MapQuest.
I mean, as we've decided, the rusted door is the cardinal direction west, so the opposite of that is east. Yeah.
East. All right.
Can we? All right. I will wait until we are somewhere maybe with a little more time before we get ripped to shreds to ask that question, actually.
So, who's opening the door?
I'll do it since I yelled east. Is that just like 1d6 or?
No, I want to know that you're opening the door.
Oh, yeah, I'm opening the door.
All right, so you open the door, and it makes a wet gurgling sound as the door slides in like it's catching something. And as you look inside, there's a flickering bulb that is broken on the ceiling, and it looks like there's just gore and viscera splattered across it, like it shattered it. And so there's this kind of strobe light effect in this room. There is something written in words you can't quite read splattered on the back wall, and it looks like that there is this was the armory for the security checkpoint. There's a door on the north side of this room. And other than that, you just have lockers maybe full of equipment, and that like crackling hum sound from the ceiling.
That's just
Yeah.
lazy penmanship.
Yeah. I know. Like people, what we need is a penmanship program on this space station.
Ralphie, when was the last time you got in here, man? This place is filthy.
So I was look. I have done all of the space cocaine, and that is why I
You did all my space cocaine?
As your lawyer,
I
I would
was
advise sending him in first.
I was going to pay you back. Hence why I've been trying to get someone to give me $20. Here we are. Look, I feel like this is the least of our worries at the moment.
Oh my
I would like
God.
to /search the lockers, please. I'm looking for a slightly better weapon than what I have.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me 2d6.
You got it. I got 1 6 out of that and 1 2.
Okay, so that would be 7. So you open the door and a pile of sloughed off skin pours out, and on top of it is what looks to be like a alarm clock with a aux cord and like a little mini microphone kind of plugged into the back. It's a slapdash noisemaker.
What the hell?
It looks like we found the skin from the guys, and we should probably inventory that. So
I bet they want
Yeah.
it back.
Then we at Tony's Funhouse / Space Emporium, we take our employees' privacy and inventory or belongings very seriously. We just gonna return that to the family. It ain't got no monetary value, right? We return that one.
right, you will return that one. Remember, admit nothing. They could have done this to themselves very easily.
Obviously.
Funhouse and Space Emporium. That's great. Those are the two you really want together. Funhouse
So,
and Space
quick
Emporium.
sidebar to just frustrate Ian. Near my house, next to the railroad tracks, there was a place called the Brinka Funhouse for Kids, which I have never seen a more distrustful, shady operation in my life, and that's why I keep coming back to like Funhouse for blank.
And if it makes you feel better, in my town there is a Chuck E. Cheese's next to a Hustler of Hollywood.
That seems less scary than next to the train tracks.
Okay.
Your mother's got you. I know it's your birthday, but he's gonna take you next door. I'll be over in a few.
Oh,
Okay.
I just want to add that I made a joke that I felt was completely underappreciated not long ago about a orphanage for the criminally insane, and I think that a fun house for the criminally insane might also be like a legitimate business idea.
Didn't we go through that in Odd Gobs?
That was the Junji Ito Memorial Funhouse and Mirror Maze.
Yes, yeah.
I knew there was
But,
a mirror maze in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, okay. So I'm gonna take the noisemaker, I guess.
I like the fact that there's probably a stereotype that people have about what horror authors are like, and if you put them like in a room, they're gonna be like doom and gloom and be like, "Yeah, my skin just is crawling with dark thoughts," and instead it's like. We need more fun houses.
I gotta tell you, Ian. I'm friends with Edward Lee, the godfather of the most disgusting and horrifying extreme horror you'll ever read. He regularly just texts me pictures of like his seafood that he's eating. He's like, "Hey, I'm eating some good seafood right now, John. How are you doing, buddy?" So that's what horror writers are like.
Oh no! I was just like imagining other people. I know what horror writers are like, but just like the.
Yeah,
people that are
we're
like,
the sweetest. We're the sweetest bunch.
This is going to be a spooky episode because they're playing a horror game. It's like
horror writers love seafood. No. That's the takeaway for tonight.
Like, I'll be honest. The imagery in this game has been hella.
Yeah. It's top notch, man. Top notch.
Yeah. But I just
Yeah,
kind of like
it's-
whistle
it's
past
my
the graveyard and
improv.
everything I do. Oh yeah, no, good job then, because yeah, it's been quite horrific.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all I got out of that goddamn locker was a noisemaker.
Well,
that
and all these
consists of-
skins.
and all the
Now,
skins.
keep in mind, if you really wanted a weapon, you could burn one of your luck points, and there is the search table that's in the game, the draft PDF. And so, if you really wanted a new weapon or an upgrade for that, you could burn your luck point. To do so, keep in mind that all of the weapons are
Also,
going
how
to be
you
very
stay alive.
Well,
Yes. So the
yeah, the
I-
thing is like also my flesh score is so low that it would have to be a super techie weapon for me to probably do any good with it. So I'll content myself with the noisemaker. Would you describe it again for me?
So it is an alarm clock that has an aux cord coming out of it with a little mini microphone on the back. Now,
An aux
the-
cord. Oh, AUX. Okay, gotcha.
correct.
All right.
So,
okay, cool.
In the draft rules of this, this is not the final product of it. The weapons basically are all flavor. So there are a bunch of different D6 that you roll in order to generate your kind of buddy item weapon thing. So all of you have an item that's kind of similar in a way, and it does either 1 or 2 damage. So if you're feeling like you really need a new weapon or item, things that you would naturally roll on the table would probably still be the same unless you got a upgrade for the weapon and then you kind of are adding on to with something special.
Fuck that. This is, as far as I'm concerned, this is now a karaoke machine, provided we can get to a planet with an AM/FM signal.
All right, so
Once we get all this cleared up, buddy, we got a karaoke bar. You think I'm going to have a space station without a karaoke bar? Come on, man. This is Tony we're talking about.
we can upgrade our weapons. I
If
understand.
you want to
karaoke,
burn,
Yes.
if you want to burn a luck point, and you'll have a finite quantity of those.
Yeah. So can I also search to possibly find something to upgrade my circular saw?
Absolutely. There are several of these lockers you could open. So
Okay,
roll me your
cool.
2d6.
6. That is a 4 and a 2.
So with that, you find a stim jet, one of them. So it is able to allow you to ignore the negative effects of one wound for a short amount of time. It's got this kind of burbling red liquid in it that doesn't look like you should be injecting something slightly effervescent into your body, but some scientists said it was okay.
Ralphie and I have proven that we would ignore that warning immediately.
So
We're over here just shooting pop rocks and cola, you know.
how would I attach that to a circular saw? So I could cut someone's arm off and help them?
I don't. Ian, I think he wanted to use a luck to get something specific.
Not
I heard roll
specific.
first and then
Yeah, I
heard
like
check first instead of just burning a point. So I was doing the order of operations. If he wants to burn a luck point instead to get a new weapon, I'm going to roll all the things to get a new weapon or an upgrade for weapon. The guidance on that is what's it for? What's it do?
Okay. My logic was just see what I find and how can I make my weapon better. So
Like-
So
Stick it on the end of a pool cue or something.
well, a stim jet is not a weapon. So again,
No,
if you
it
want
is
to
not a
burn a luck point,
I will burn a luck point. For the sake
Okay.
of this game's mechanics, let's do it. Let's burn a luck.
all right. So you burn a luck point, and then are you opting for the weapon upgrade? If so, tell me what it does, and then that's what it does.
All right, so I would like a weapon upgrade, and I've had my circular saw, and since we're like on the ship, I have a plethora of different saw blades capable of cutting through different things. But I feel like the only appropriate upgrade for a circular saw is that those blades should launch.
Oh, cool.
Okay, that is fair enough.
Yeah.
So now it's a ranged circular saw.
Okay.
Brutal.
Are you recycling the blade? You get one shot, you gotta pop, fetch
Well,
it, and bring it back.
I've
He
got a
ties a
number-
piece of string to it and just whips it back.
I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah,
You
there's
guys are definitely in space, and you're definitely fucked.
Mhm.
it launches the blade out and then it retracts back
Wait,
to
am
the
I-
circular
Yeah,
Am I allowed to
I-
say that about your clients, Martin?
I'll allow it.
That's not defamation. I was gonna say that's objective.
I agree with your assessment.
Yeah,
I'll still be billing for this, though.
Ralph's family has signed so much paperwork that if they try to sue us, our attorneys handle it.
Yeah, it just goes
We
through
actually find it way
mediation.
more efficient if they're never in court with us.
Yeah.
So this is a small room, and there's one door leading out of here, and it's on the north side of the wall. It's adjacent to the wall with all the bloody runes on it.
Who's first?
I'll go. I
That
gotta
would be
try
my
out.
recommendation.
I gotta try out the new circular saw, right?
What's it
Mhm.
named? That weapon.
Oh,
Weapon needs a name.
It does
Surely.
have a name. Oh, you can't be serious.
You could call it Yo-Yo.
I'm looking for it on the character sheet. What would you
Well, it's on the all of your
Oh.
weapons have a name.
Trusty Pathfinder model XIII.
That's
I was just
pronounced.
thinking. No, that's actually pronounced.
That was a
You gotta
really
get the
good sound
X to
effect,
the-
Yeah,
Charles.
that's really, you should,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm
How
not
many
the good
people have you
sound
sold
effects
through?
person.
Ooh.
Martin, how should I answer that?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, this was a horror game.
we make our own horror.
I am quite sure I'll be eaten before the end of this. Like my guy has no.
You play your
survival
cards right,
skills.
buddy.
Yeah,
Ayo.
possibly. Ayo. All right. Throw that door up and let's see what we've won.
Okay. Fantastic. Finally. So when you open this door, it seems to be initially a security checkpoint like the one that you initially started in. The difference is that instead of being completely splattered with gore and viscera and having a mountain of bodies, instead, in the center of the room, in this otherwise uncomfortably clean and like reflectively bright room, is a pile of pustules, as if you took the boils from just legions of people with all kinds of skin diseases and heaped it into a concise pile, various like mouths in its like kind of puff wetly and making like little sucking sounds as it's just puffing in
I don't
and
know.
out.
It sounds like fun to me. It sounds like bubble wrap. Like once you pop, you can't stop, you know?
That's Pringles.
I know, but
It-
I'm just picturing going
also-
up to this
what was that?
Nurgle-like creature, just pop, 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 pop.
Is that sound that you made in the other room, Charles? Or should I say, Tinus?
Something like that.
It makes a sound like that, but from way too many mouths, and it begins to unfold itself. And you see
Ooh.
that like this weird amorphous shape is just all of its many limbs that have been like retracted into itself. And it stands as tall as a man, but then it unfolds 6 pustule encrusted limbs, and instead of eyes, it has 2 vacuous, almost like puckery orifices that just swell open, and it begins to lumber towards you.
Give me a moment. I believe that this violates the pustule clause in my contract. That is more than I agreed to, so my rate is going up now.
I need to know if it harmonized with its.
I'm gonna call this thing ass eyes. I've decided.
It's a really asinine thing for you to do.
I guess we're going into combat
A
then,
single gaha. All right.
huh? I smirked and chuckled.
What? Okay.
Well, well, since you weren't expecting it, is technically a ambush.
We've been ambushed. We need a hambush thing, like the radio
A button,
DJ,
like a
like
squeeze and take
hambush.
buttons.
Only if you want to earn John's wrath, I'm pretty sure. All right, so I take it that we're being attacked, right?
It's
Yeah.
not making any type of violent moves. It's just juddering towards you with pustule encrusted limbs.
Hmm.
I mean, are they extended in my direction, the limbs?
I mean, 4 of them are.
Like a hug or like an attack?
Sting arms. There's also too many fingers on each hand, if they're actually fingers. At the end of each of them are like little like cilias, like just kind of floating like hair.
Hmm.
Well, John, you're the xenophile. How do you want to deal with this guy?
I am thinking. I lean over to Martin. Question: once an employee mutates into a horrible hell fiend, what's our legal ramifications here?
Are you asking me if you can fuck the alien?
I, I wasn't, but
I
maybe
knew
tell
it
me
was
all the
coming. Let me
options.
just get that out of the way first. I would prefer if you didn't do it in the presence of the other two, or me.
Okay,
I
okay.
would also
No, we
like not
talked
to
about
be
that. We
present
did
for
talk
that.
about that. I hear you. I respect you.
Yeah. Are you talking about killing it?
Yeah. Well, whatever's on the table. I want to know. I want to know my options here.
Well, we technically have another incident that already occurred before you had entered the station, so we have that plausible deniability. If someone asked who was responsible for this death as well, we could easily blame it on the.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that we should ought to maybe put it into this thing here.
All right. And by
You
we
heard the
ought
man.
to
He
put
doesn't
it
want to
into
fuck
this
it. So
thing.
let's just.
Another question
was-
is: are you saying all of this out loud?
Absolutely.
So
I can do it telekinetically.
It pauses and it makes a slightly more mournful, but also like
Aroused.
disgusted
Oh.
resignation. And it begins to skulk backwards. It crouches back on the floor, using its 6 limbs to scuttle back. It's keeping its puckery eyes like focused on you, Tony, and like the eyes are just kind of like doing this puckering
Okay.
in and out.
Okay. No, this is good. This is good. So we don't. We ain't gotta.
It's-
We ain't gotta.
There are 4 doors on, like, so this is a mirror of the other room, but it scampers back through the door on the west side of the room, and as it begins to retract out of the room, it hisses out of both of its eye sockets, and you see before like the door shuts, it climb up along the wall, and you see it clinging to the ceiling and scuttering off.
I would
Okay.
advise that we have a statement ready on this.
Hey, was that Nolan from accounting? Anyway, I'm gonna search the room, see if Nolan left anything.
I don't remember Nolan having such beautiful brown eyes.
Oh, Nolan!
Yeah.
Nolan's eyes are gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
So yeah, you go ahead and search. And what are our door options here?
So
The
this
ones that don't have the ass-eyed roaches behind it.
So there are 4 doors. So you came from the door from the south. So it went to the door to the west. So you have the north and the east if you're trying to avoid whatever that thing was. This rest of the room again is oddly too clean. Like you don't even see there's any dirt on or dust on any surface, which normally there is in any type of space orbital facility.
Good job, Ralphie.
Thank you. But I think our accountant friend still owed me $10. Should we follow him? See if he is okay?
Ian, I rolled 2 4s on my search.
So as you are searching around, all you find is just a scrap of paper that is hidden underneath the keyboard. Whatever is like cleaning this room or whatever happened in this room, it missed whatever this note is.
Does it also say "fuck
Ooh.
Tony"?
No, it says, whatever you do, don't look it in the eyes.
Oops.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a whack at this computer console too, if I can.
All right.
So I'm going to use my my abilities as a systems
You can roll out your
administrator and
3d6 as you did
technician.
before.
Yep. I am going to try to determine if there's a way to lock the things that are coming at us behind us, like lock one of the doors between us and them. So here we go. Okay, so already I have 2 5s.
Fantastic. So you are able to do that. Tell me, what is it that you are doing? You can lock these doors that you've been through. How are you protecting yourself?
So, what I'm going to do is like open up the lock menu and for the east corridor behind us that we've kind of been going along in a line, I'm just going to lock like every door on the x-axis of that. So like even if they go left, right, whatever, there'll still be like all locked doors along each segment of that grid. Does that
So you're
make sense?
locking the doors you've come through. Keep in mind
Yeah.
that you want east and then you want north. So you've gone in an L.
All right, yeah, just lock
Just as an FYI.
those.
So
lock
yes,
those
those
doors
doors
then.
are
Yeah.
locked.
Okay.
You hear like this pneumatic-y like click. Are you doing anything with the other 2 doors in this room that you haven't gone through?
Before we do that, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is it still his turn?
Oh,
No, go
whoever
ahead.
can interject.
Okay. I just wanted to. I'm going over to the computer console and I'm doing something that no one else can really see what it is.
Hope it's deleting footage.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
I don't
about
want to do anything else with the doors except lock the roach door. I do want to do that. So yeah. The ass-eyed roach man door. I will lock that one as well. Leaving us only the north to go through. Or the east. Okay, the north. All right.
So
All right.
we
And
hear that
now Martin's working on the uh-oh, we lost John.
Yeah.
Now
we
Martin
need
is
him anyway. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I
now
not knowing where my boss
now-
is, I panic and start feverishly mopping
Let's
just
see.
in case
No.
he comes back.
Oh, I am not.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
You're here.
All right, so, and what was it that you are doing, Martin?
Oh, but Ian's not.
I'm-
Neither is Patchkey.
No,
No, we're
John,
still
I'm
there.
watching.
it. You can see you.
I'm looking at the feed right
Wait,
now.
you can see them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reload. Sorry for interrupting, everyone. Johnny will be right back.
So I've discovered that I am able to save myself a copy of myself in any room that is a non-threat room. So I'm going
Oh,
to say,
cool.
yeah.
So you are setting up a save point.
Yes.
Okay. And so you are setting up. Am I hearing like cloning machine?
It's
Or are
actually
you downloading a digital yourself?
it is I can be printed in any replicator printer.
Oh.
They usually are the ones that look like giant fax machines from the 80s. Those are the ones.
Okay. Fantastic.
I'm picturing a person
you
just
burn
rolling
your-
out of one of those.
So this is kind of like a pocket module that you have kind of just in case of emergencies. It folds them. It fits into your briefcase. So you unpack it, and it makes a chirping noise, and you hear the modem begin to heat up a little bit with little like clacking noises, and there's that ozony smell that comes from it as it warms up.
May I suggest something fun?
Sure.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Am I boring?
I just want to put out there that any clone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Demonic possession. Some extra ding dangs.
That's-
that's an industry term for demonic possession. Ding dangs.
I
Did
love
we
it.
lose John again?
On the feed, yeah.
Is he frozen? Nope. I see him here.
No, he's just not on Twitch.
Okay.
Oh.
So moving on, so you have locked these doors except for the door to the north. Martin has set up a save point for themselves, and what else?
I'm feverishly mopping.
Okay.
I'm done for now.
All right. So that just leaves you with the going to the north.
To the north. Okay. I guess it's my turn to open the door. We should wait for John to come back into sync.
I'm
with
back
us.
in. I'm
He's
back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's open that door and see what we've won.
Okay. Also, okay. Ooh, fantastic. As you open the store, there is roiling coils of smoke that just pool and flow in between your legs.
Ah,
You
yes.
see that everything about up to your waist is just a sea of some type of smoke or smog that seems to have undulating waves.
Ah,
The
yeah.
walls itself of this corridor are completely draped in flesh that seems to be sloughing itself upwards
Cool.
and going clockwise around the entire corridors.
This is some
Like
good
it.
shit.
Yeah, I appreciate
There-
that.
As you are looking down this corridor, you can see that there is, amidst the moving, crawling flesh, there is a door with a light bulb above it on one side of the wall that's mirrored on the other as well.
Hmm.
And you're noticing that there's a sound of chittering, and you see little flicks of the smoke are being flicked upward as something is maybe moving under the smoke.
A
You
new
hear sounds of
friend.
maybe like clicking, clacking legs now.
Hmm.
Okay,
Well,
so who has a reverse fog machine?
Do you mean a vacuum?
Yeah, that's what one of those is called, right? Yeah. I don't know that my AI waifu is going to be any help here.
I mean, I'm a janitor. I would know where the vacuum would be. Can I do a roll for that?
As a janitor, how intimately familiar are you with, I don't know, air ducts?
intimate.
Is the janitor in space also an HVAC technician? The air ducts
tell me.
will need to be cleaned out.
Well,
You
you're
Yeah.
tell me,
not.
are you?
You are not a janitor. You're a custodian.
Are you an expert in that?
Well, we also have an engineer, and I don't want to step on the engineer's toes.
Yeah, I am asking Ralph.
Ralph, I don't think Ralph has that kind of background. Well, it's space though. It's space though. So I feel like maybe I feel like in space everyone has a minimum of 2 jobs. Like it's
Oh,
not like
yeah,
here in
yeah.
the real world where it's like, oh yeah, I print things and I'm a printer. It's like no, you're a printer and you do the mail service and you do this and you do that because everyone's got to pull like triple duty.
I mean, again,
Also-
I thought we were playing a
is
fantasy
that a-
role-playing game, but
Is that a yes?
Yes, I long short answer yes. Sorry.
Also,
Because-
our engineer is a system engineer, not a like
Mechanical?
a building. Yeah, mechanical.
yeah, I'm
engineer.
a computer guy basically. If it's a
Okay.
computer problem, I can fix it.
He'll solve it.
Check out
Yeah,
the
check out the
software.
hook while my DJ revolves it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, if you're
Mm-hmm.
the digital engineer, then I could be the mechanical. Yeah, I would definitely know that. Then that would make sense
Yeah.
in world.
Yeah.
Because you're also hearing a wet scraping sound, very, very muffled and faint, that seems to be going along where the air duct is that runs just above where you are standing.
Yeah, we
Alright.
got razor slugs again.
Well, let me just go ahead and get the good old yo-yo up and running again, and let's go ahead and I'm not, maybe that's why I have the sniffles, not the space cocaine. Let me just pull that down.
So we'll just do this as round robin action here, because no one has said that they're shutting the door while there's things coming at them, running around in the smoke towards them. So at this point, whatever this thing is, you hear this chittering that sounds like too many mandibles mashing together, and you see the smoke part, like it goes up along the fleshy walls where like mouths open up and kind of suck in some of that smoke. So you get the full view of this horror, which is too many metallic and flesh draped limbs that throws itself at you. You don't even get a full look at it, and you were standing in the doorway first. So, Tinus, you see this misshaped thing, like a sea urchin with its giant scissor legs covered in meat. Is kind of the most vague impression you get before it is upon you. So
Cool.
the first thing I'm going to need you to do is either you're going to be rolling me a flesh check to get the hell out of this way, or to make your kind of counterattack. Or if you're not feeling it, you could burn one of your will points.
I would like to counterattack. I would like to intercept it in mid-flight with Little Marsha, who is my Little Marshall version 2, a handheld welder that is powered by plasma cells. And I would like to pew pew hit it as it's coming at me. So let me do a check for that. Hang on.
Okay.
Here we go. Come on, big money. I'm gonna burn a point of luck to re-roll one of those, and I
You
still
don't have
fail.
to. It's not a re-roll. It's basically would be like a success with that. So if
Oh,
you're
then
burning
yeah,
one point, you're going to be getting kind of a Pyrrhic one because you only have like 2 points of luck. So this is like your
yeah.
kind of a big use of
Okay,
that.
yeah. Then I will definitely burn 1 point of luck to hit it. So that does 2 points of damage.
Okay. So the thing, you pull out your little pocket welder, and it's not enough to hold back the full weight of this monstrosity. So it throws you on your back. But yes, you're able to get your welder. You kind of hear that as you're trying to get it to click on. You get it on just in time that you cut off one of its limbs. It begins to thrash, and it splurts out some type of like chunky blood custard out of its socket, and it makes this impossible like screeching sound, like too many pairs of scissors snipping at once, and it begins to just flail out its limbs out at you. You were able to just dodge out of the way of most of it, but you get some very shallow cuts along your face. You see that the very center of this thing is just a maw with limbs sticking out of it. It seems to also not follow Euclidean geometry, and it bends space every time you look at it. So the rest of you, all of you are looking at this, see something slightly different, but again, it is like knives sticking out of a ball of flesh or something like that, and it is pinning Tinus to the floor.
Real quick.
Yes.
John or somebody, remember chunky blood custard so that I don't forget it?
Okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
write it down.
Okay, good. Because that's going in the show description for sure.
You should have seen. I was for my Metromancer Kickstarter. Like I was like real tired, sleep deprived. One night, and I was writing some purple prose. So this is a status update, and I was like, I hope no one's going to call me out on how purple this is, but no one has
I'm
complained.
picturing a furby with the fur taken off, but draped in like rotting prosciutto. And
I like that.
yeah, that's my
Yeah.
image.
Like the reaction to that.
I want Pasky to draw that.
Furby with riding prosciutto flesh. I mean, I've seen that similar thing online. Not riding prosciutto, but like I saw like
It's a thing people do.
burger
Is like,
Furby
yeah, turn Furbies into fucked up shit, like, or set one on fire,
or long
yeah,
Furbies. Long
Uh-huh.
Furbies, I think, are my favorite. Where they make them like a long snake with extra feet and stuff, but still got the Furby head.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't. Yeah.
So as you were contending with this thing, you are looking up, Ralph, at the vent, and you see something behind the vent, like the vent blades, and you hear that kind of puffing sound of that encrusted and crenulated thing. You hear it unscrewing the screws of the vent.
It's got a screwdriver in there.
Well, you then hear the sound of my circular saw revving up, and you hear the spring that's going to shoot the blade out tightening as I aim.
All right, so okay. So
Are
you're
you
making
gonna wait for it to show its happy face?
Yeah, like I'm aiming, I'm waiting.
as you're describing all the sounds that it makes another sound of like two hissing sounds out of its puckery eye sockets, and it scuttles back into the vent, like
Out of
further
its-
down the.
Out of its puckered eye sockets, you hear a.
Sorry, did you hear my cat?
No, I think
Well,
that
I
I
was
didn't know if
me.
my
did.
microphone. My cat was actually screeching at my door.
Meow.
Okay,
That was your
I
cat?
That was me.
Yes.
I heard
That was me. That was me.
Okay.
That was you?
Yes. I
You're
made
a
a
Honest
joke.
to God, my
Ian's
cat was
cat?
literally meowing at the same time that Charles was talking about meowing. I thought my microphone was picking up my cat.
That wasn't a meow. I was still joking about the ass size, and I said that when it hissed out of its eyes, it sounded like.
Oh, yeah.
It leans as it does it.
I fire at it.
So it is retracting into the vent. So you're gonna just fire blindly in the vent, trying to hit.
I mean, ideally, I would see it start to retract away, and I would just hit the trigger.
Okay. Go ahead. So you're gonna have a disadvantage. So that's gonna be -1 die.
So what? 1d6, or
Yes.
that's 2.
You fire at it, and you hear lots of angry noise in the air duct, and it has trumbled out of listening radius. And you just definitely hear like some echoing, hissing sounds, and it doesn't seem to like that you have done that.
Oh, I don't like.
As a meta thing for you to be aware, when you're rolling for creatures in this, because creatures are also procedurally generated, each creature has an intelligence, and that also gives part of its motivation of how it approaches and handles and stalks you.
So ass eyes can hear us talk, is what I'm getting out of that. We should avoid discussing killing it if we're going to kill it in the future. We should use sign language because it can't see out of those ass eyes.
That's
Or like-
actually damn smart.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so you still have a thing on top of you. So let's start to fast forward
Yeah.
time here. You're being pinned by a prosciutto furby with blade limbs. that is
Monstrosity, yeah.
monstrosity. What are the rest of you doing? So Ralph, you just fired your new upgraded saw weapon, and you're retracting your blade in. Martin and Tony, what are you doing?
So I am up immediately next to Ralph, talking to him in rapid fire speech, letting him know that in no way is my client directed him to take this action, and in no way is my client responsible for any results that might come about from this interaction.
This is all legal jargon that I don't understand. I
It
mean,
doesn't matter.
I don't think that the waiver even does anything except for it collects dust in the office. The fact that we had to sign it in triplicate made no sense. That amount of carbon could have been used to be powderized, and we could have used it to lubricate the bearings. That would have made things a little bit more effective around here. In a way, aren't lawyers the ultimate thing causing these problems?
Never mind.
Space monstrosities. Space monstrosities. Blame the lawyers. Yep. Does no one want to save me from the prosciutto Prosciutto
Apparently,
furby or
legal
nightmare?
advice takes
Ah.
precedence. So
I can understand that.
if the two of you, if Tony and Martin, if you're just watching this unfold, we'll go up back top of the initiative.
Hold on, no,
with-
look, John was on mute.
Oh,
Oh.
I've been I've been waiting for my turn. I didn't want to interrupt anyone else's turn because Tony's a talkative asshole, so I've been talking a lot. I wanted to give other people time to shine.
well, now
There's
it's
a lot of
Tony's turn to
assholes
Now
in
it's
shine.
your
this
turn.
stream tonight.
Tony reaches into his like 90s shimmery blazer, you know the ones I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And and pulls out a massive oversized bolt gun.
Hell yeah!
It has stabilizers and like recoil uh thrusters so that he can even like fire it. Well, won't be the first asshole this thing's inside of, and shoves it not just against the butthole eye socket, but into the butthole eye socket.
So the butthole socket
Butthole
thing
eye
is in
socket,
the air vents. That
yeah,
is stopping you.
Oh, okay.
So you'd be
Sorry.
sinking into a
nightmare.
Furby
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, I
Prosciutto
sink it
Furby
into Furby's
nightmare, yeah.
asshole.
Okay.
Wait, can I see the Furby's butthole? Ian, describe the Furby's butthole to me.
Yeah.
I'm really
Uh,
hoping that like someone that I've met recently is not watching this podcast and like judging their opinion on me
Ian,
based on
Ian,
this.
Ian,
Please
Ian,
describe a
you
Furby's
better-
I want you
asshole
to-
to me.
You better get used to that sensation, man. You better get used to that. 'Cause that's not painful.
That's what that feeling is called is being friends with John.
Yeah.
I want you to describe the Furby's butthole and use the last butthole you saw as like a reference.
I
Go.
like the fact that I'm going to have to say this is definitely a non-Euclidean asshole. Because I told you it's a non-Euclidean creature. It's probably a non-Euclidean cloaca.
It's a
Uh,
penis hole.
Anyway, whatever.
It's a knife hole, and whenever like every angle you look at, there's knives coming out of the hole.
I'm gonna stick just the tip. I'm just stick
Right in the
just the
knife
tip of my bang bang in that hole, and let him have it.
So it's like the iris of a camera, where
It's like
where
the town hole.
but it's
Quick
just
boom, baby.
knives that
But
that
knives,
contract
yeah.
into a
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah, it's a very painful existence. It sounds like.
All
right,
I
so
have
go ahead
hemorrhoids. I know what it's like.
Yeah,
I mean,
You're doing them a favor, really.
hmm
wait, there's
No.
knives. So go ahead, yeah. Roll me your attack.
Okay. Unfortunately, I did not roll any successes there.
Okay, and so tell me again about the. Oh, so this is the one of the bolt shells, right?
Yeah.
So
It
it's
exploded.
so you are firing from a Euclidean world into a non-Euclidean orifice that happens to be straddling over your compatriot.
I'm dead, aren't I?
Yes, I am.
I am
So-
100% dead. I bet.
I didn't
So-
catastrophically fail.
So you wait, you got no successes.
No,
and that's
you're right. Yeah,
catastrophic.
yes, I did. Yes. Sorry.
So basically, you just fire blindly and you just pepper your friend with bullets that are.
No.
exposed.
One
Yeah,
bullet. One
exactly.
bullet.
Yeah.
One bullet that's this wide.
And
Wow.
one is all you need when you're a human being. I am gone from the waist up, pretty much. So
So basically, you weren't sure what the like orifice looked like of this creature, but you can definitely see the yawning orifice of like his entire rib cage. And as you're watching him, like you can tell that he's like still like alive with the shock and trauma, and you get a few seconds glimpse, Tynus, through like your like fading vision of your flesh like pouring out of your wound and running up the walls with the other flesh.
cool.
And you start to hear the sound of the spools of that 3D printer beginning to heat up.
Oh, I didn't back myself up.
it's a safe room to be for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Is how I'm
okay.
interpreting the rules.
All right. I'm happy
Now-
to be dead.
Now, I have a question for you. Hey Martin, did Titus sign his waivers and are we good?
We're all good.
The real horror is space lawyers.
Yeah. Well,
and trust fund kids.
so yeah, the real horror is a combination of money and lawyer. That's when you really get some creative work done.
The
Yeah,
worst.
I'm happy to be a player kill because I think we ought to give the game give it its due. And
Yeah.
I
Aren't we
actually have
supposed
a
to do this? Yeah.
yeah, and here's the other thing, Ian. I have a separate backup device that I did not use in that room because I figured I'd use it when I wanted to. So yeah, I'm 100% dead. I took a bolt shell without backing myself up. So I'm happy to continue to comment and participate, but I'm dead, I think.
Well, so that is up to you. So basically, when you put a save point in the book, it's marked on the map, and that is so it's a permanent save point. So again, but the rule is, as if you're looking at the rules as written, it was written for a one-player game, but I just assumed a save point is a save point. So if you want to be reprinted and you just know the agony of death, and you would also be watching your own corpse being pulled up and running with flesh along the walls, you're more than welcome to. Or I will let you decide your fate if you want to take your printing job out of the queue.
Yeah, if only I could in real life. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take my printing job out of that queue. So, yeah.
There's another burst of ozone static as you hear the printer coils cooling down. It's just Tinus has seen enough.
Yeah, and I like to imagine that a tiny little wisp of steam that looks like a ghost kind of went out of it as I expired. Yeah.
So can we just take it as read that it tried to reproduce him, and so
Yeah.
there's just a
It's just like an
disformed?
arm.
It's even worse than the six-armed creature that came at us.
Yeah,
It's just the part that got blown up, so it's just his chest just
comes
out of the printer.
just wavy.
It's unbelievable.
Wavy. Yeah.
It's even worse than that. I came out of there looking like this.
Ooh,
No.
that's horrible. Oh.
All
Right,
right,
so
carry
you-
on,
the-
brave adventurers.
The horror with no name takes delight in sticking its multiple knife-like limbs into your
Oh, I know that
perforated
asshole.
carcass. And
I know that
is-
asshole. That's Fred. That's Fred. He's in maintenance.
What?
His name's Fred. That thing, it was Fred from maintenance. Fuck that
Oh, I
guy.
thought you said Fred was also the name of the accountant. So
No, Nolan or
because-
Nathan, I believe.
begins to take his knife limbs and just rip all the flesh off of Tinus's body and flings it onto the walls where it melts into place. So this thing is now, if no one is securing the door, locking it in, it's just going to advance into this room with you and repeat this grim operation. You all seem pretty lackadaisical with, this guy just got blown apart and we're being pursued by monsters.
I mean,
Tony loved him. Tony, I love that guy. That guy had my back. I loved Nathaniel.
yeah, I would go after it with the buzzsaw. At this point, having seen everything that we've seen and people have died, I would like to, act irrationally and
Okay.
fire.
Is that a Euclidean buzzsaw?
It's semi-Euclidean. It is, but it isn't.
Depends if you're looking at it or not. It's not Euclidean when you're not looking at it.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and make me your attack.
All right. And so now am I able to aim so I can get 2?
Yes, and
Okay.
because it is also distracted with flaying the body, so I would even give it 3 if you was so
Oh,
want.
yeah, I will take the 3. Yeah, that third one's a 6.
Well, there we go. So this is a mixed success since you just have one. So you fire your buzzsaw. It turns and you see the void full of prosciutto and limbs, and it intercepts your saw blade mid-air, but it cuts off one of its limbs, and more of that chunky substance begins to pour out of it. It makes a terrible wailing sound that sounds like you're crumpling so much tinfoil through
Like a regular
like a
Furby.
woodchipper.
Yeah.
Yes, just much like that. And you can see that this thing seems to be weakening. All of its like blood stuff seems to be also just like melting into the walls as well. And by the time the stuff gets to the ceiling, it kind of like starts to drip down.
Okay. So when you said it lost one of its limbs, now Furbies have feet and ears. Did I take out a foot or an ear?
This is some type of leg thing.
Knife limbs.
Monsters in this have a number of limbs. Think about like Dead Space.
Okay.
So, but this thing seems to be severely weakened. It makes that terrible sound, and it begins to retract into the room. It taps one of its limbs against the wall. You hear an organ burst like a fruit, and like these mouths open up along the wall and then begin to breathe in more smoke, making a big smoke screen. And you can see that it's beginning to move around in this smoke bank, but it's almost obscured.
I'm gonna have to hack this thing, aren't I?
You can shut the door.
No.
Ian really wants us to shut the door,
No,
and
I'm
we're
just
just
giving you
refusing.
options. No, I'm just like, I don't.
Ian
just
is
letting you know.
desperate for us to shut this door, which means it's a
No.
trap and we shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. Keep the
Oh,
door open.
It's fine by me. All right.
Alright.
So, are you going in then, Martin?
Yeah, I'm going in there. I saved in
Okay.
the back room.
Okay. So go ahead, and the first thing is, as you're entering this room, it's very wet. You are at least ankle deep in some type of flesh, and it has an undercurrent. So make me an advantage. Make me a flesh roll.
Oh, I got a flesh roll or two I can spare for you.
I got a 4.
So
I think I've got more than that.
So for your character, you're only rolling.
1.
You have 0 for flesh.
I have 1d6.
Oh, so you're rolling at advantage. So you're rolling 2d6. So what's your
okay.
second die?
Oh shoot. Woohoo. Maybe. Nope. 3.
3. So you feel as you're sprinting towards or walking towards this creature to retaliate, you're feeling tongues or maybe weird gnarled fingers pulling into your feet, and it's dragging you along that kind of clockwise meat circle. So you feel yourself getting pulled into it, and as you look at the walls, you see like fleshy tendrils begin to like pull, like make little meaty tendrils that are trying to quest out towards you.
This is exactly how my mother died.
Mm.
They always say you grow up to be your parents.
Yeah.
I think that's a heritable disease or a way to go.
Yeah,
to,
this is definitely genetic.
runs in the family. Yeah.
So I will not to belabor too much time here. Make me either another flesh check before it begins to pull you into this embrace, or you can also burn a will point to use your sheer grit and all of the resources that were taught to you in corrupt lawyer skill to pull yourself out by your bootstraps.
I got a 6 and a 3.
All right, so mixed success. So you were able to rip yourself from these tendrils in the grip. You take 1 point of damage in the process, but you are able to be completely free. And I will let you take a wild attack at the thing in the smoke if you would like. It would just be
I
a
would
disadvantage
I would
since it's
very
smoke.
much like to attack. So okay.
All right. So just roll it at 1 die.
Yeah. 3.
All right, so you start to fire wildly your errant problem solver MK2, and it every time you fire a burst, it punctuates the smoke screen, and you get a little glimpse of the thing, like it's the light shining off one of its limb blades, and it seems to be cackling at you.
What a dick.
But it's like a cackling that sounds like you're shaking a whole drawer full of silverware.
Oh, cool description. I like that.
Thank you. Sometimes my improv is good. All right, so that leaves you, Tony. Are you also going to be running into the meat room?
Man, well, that is like, here's the thing, right? That's Magnolia. I'm not saying I would be in prison without Magnolia. In fact, I'm kind of saying I would not be. But you know, I gotta take care of those who take care of me. So yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. Tell me what we'll do because we're coming on the close here, so maybe we'll get another dramatic player kill.
And boy, I'm gonna try. I reload.
Yeah.
And I come in blasting as my meme all said.
Please roll a 0 so you watch. You dictate your lawyer.
Not like this.
Okay, look. When you say roll a 0, here's the thing though.
You gotta
These
do this.
these dice don't have no zeros on them, so that ain't really possible.
How many hits did you get?
I rolled a 7.
Total? Was it a 4 and a 3?
Maybe.
So,
But it's a 7. Looking at 7. Come on,
you
guys.
fire wildly down this corridor. As soon as you step into the meat room, like something bites you and is like pulling you into like the meat current, and you fire right towards like your lawyer Martin, who's just freed themselves from like these like meat hooks on the wall, like and gets right in the path of this very thoughtful gift that you are sharing, and it ruptures Martin just all over. In fact, there's such as you like decompress and explode out their lungs that all of like the smoke parts for just a second, where you see that knifey creature beginning to skulk towards you, Tony. Meanwhile, Ralph, in this
Oh,
process,
that's going to be furious. I killed my brother again.
you're hearing the printer begin to queue up. And as that is queuing up, Ralph, you're hearing the thing move back in the air ducts. Now that you've kind of sawed open a slice into it, you see its postulate fingers begin to pull and pry open the air duct, and it puts its head down with 2 puckery, puffing
Almost.
asshole eyes.
Wait. So does it like make a circular hole in the vent?
Are you? Yes, it's a goatsy.
Pull it
It's a
what?
goat.
Describe the stretched butthole to us, Ian.
Are the fingers like coming out? They're pulling, or are they up?
How?
Do they just
Ian,
come out and then?
on a scale,
Goat description.
Ian, on a scale from 1 to 10, how tasty does it look, though?
I mean, I'm gonna roll to see if my character's into it.
Oh,
That's a 5.
You-
I think.
if you are what you eat, this explains why you're such an asshole.
No, the term you're looking for is generous and giving lover, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that a closing scene of having the puckery eye hole thing like leering down from an air duct would be a great cinematic close, and your first response is, "What do they taste like?"
I'm the
good.
one who
Not
I'm the one who
good.
took that one to a bad place. I'm sorry about.
No,
I'm not
no,
sorry
I'm
at
not.
all.
I'm not
I'm not
mad.
sorry at all.
I'm sorry.
I'm just like I'm
Sorry.
joking at the. No, I'm just joking at like the like that's all, folks. Like,
Mr.
I
Patsky,
love
take us
it.
away from this hell.
Yeah, I can do that. We're now back to the other thing, the screen without the slideshow.
So let's take a minute to here's what I was thinking about the entire time after Mr. Bernard ate an entire bag of dicks. That was not my fault at all. Um
Oh, okay. There
when
was
we save in a save room, right? Um it felt like okay, here's what I really wanted. I wanted us to end on a specific scene, and that scene was Martin getting reprinted into
I
a
queued it
room
up.
filled with monstrosities that had been chasing us.
Over and over
Oh
again.
my god,
Oh,
that would be
oh no.
that's a horror story. Like you're stuck in a room and it's just you get printed and you just get killed again and again. You
That's
can't
just
turn
Edge
off
of
the machine.
that's just Edge of
Holy
Tomorrow.
shit, that is like the most terrifying, like bleak.
That's
That is.
no, that's.
I have no mouth and I must scream.
yeah.
Have you seen a movie called The Endless?
Yes, yes.
It's like the 5-second time loop guy. you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
might like
yeah.
a short story I have coming out soon. So.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love map making games. I love procedurally randomly generated stuff. It's always a blast. I think that the imagery, Ian, you did a great job on. First of all,
Yeah.
hey, round of applause for Ian.
Hey.
From one, one of the hardships of doing this show is we have so many cool little like phrases we banter around, and we can't steal any of them because we're all writers. It's not like, hey, John said this cool thing, I will throw it in one of my stories or
You
books.
can use my
No,
stuff.
because John's going to use that. Oh,
Yeah,
you
do
better
it.
believe every fucking character in every one of my books trombles, Ian.
Trombling is amazing.
Yeah.
But this is a
I
cool
have to give
game.
credit. Andy D, you buy his music if you like very interesting music. Yes, in Andy D.
So, we might actually have literal announcements that people put together specifically so that I don't miss their stuff. I will start by saying we have a couple of events coming up. We have, when is Hoosier Con?
That is
the weekend.
the following weekend.
The following weekend. So that is coming right up, and you'll be able to see Ian Servas and Bridget Brave, and possibly Mr. Patchkey there as well.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Paschke.
Yeah, and
do-
Mrs. Paschke.
Oh, and Mrs.
Cool.
Oh, Jenny, who trumps all.
She's pretty cool. I like her.
Yeah, she's pretty rad. And within Jenny, the littlest Patchkey,
I know, the
meatiest
meatball.
low.
the meatball. On top of that, the weekend after that, April 14th, 15th, and 16th, Bridget D. Brave and John Baltisberger will be at the Ghoulish Book Festival. Now, John, what might you have at the Ghoulish Book Festival? You might be asking like a jerk. I'll have the paperback edition of Whispers of the Dead Saint. I will have probably the physical copies of Odd Gobs. I will have the brand new game from Madness Heart Games, Against the Hungry Dawn, which just went to print today. You might be asking yourself, what the fuck is Against the Hungry Dawn? Against the Hungry, I'm glad you asked. Against the Hungry Dawn is a sticker, or two stickers rather, that you can slap inside a book and turn any book in your collection into a game book. We're excited about it. It's a brand new project. And depending on how it does, maybe we'll do more. Maybe we'll up the ante and make even like higher grade sticker games. Don't know yet. We had a new book come out yesterday, Picking Scabs by Susan Snyder. If you are into angry feminist poetry, um,
And you should
this
be.
and yeah, you should be. This book is deadly. This book is so passionate and heartfelt, and it is not an easy read, and poetry never should be.
If I may.
Of course.
This is the second poetry collection through Madness Heart that we've done with Susan. And
Mhm.
the first one was absolutely tremendous. So if you enjoyed Broken Nails, pick this one up. If you enjoy this one, consider picking up Broken Nails. And that is all.
I will say Susan gushes about my poetry and Wrath's poetry. Um, and it's kind of bizarre because I think Susan is one of the top talents in modern poetry right now. I think she's a tour de force. Next
Yeah.
week we have End of Days coming out from Andrew Fox, which is a apocalyptic like horror, not action horror comedy thing. With a Jewish bent. It involves Robo Jesus and nukes. So that's coming. That's coming your way. Um, we have a lot. We also have a bunch of books coming out next month. I will tell you about those soon. We have a current Kickstarter. It is Metromancer live on Kickstarter right now. That is Ian and Stein Henson. Am I saying that right? Stein Hansen?
The original loose and bossy cock. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have played many a game from Stein, and obviously Ian has done a lot of work getting this far, and we played this. You can check out the video on demand or audio on demand for Metromancer. It was a blast.
We scrapped part of it because of the audio issue, in case you're looking for it.
Oh, that's right. Shoot.
So you can find it on Twitch temporarily, but that was with Batney Spears. But we are officially a project that we love on Kickstarter, which is a really nice little boost. And it's just refreshing 365 backers. So we are at we're almost at 300% funding, so that's amazing. So we got Johan, he's going to make us more art, and a bunch of our favorite artists, including Simone, will be making art for it. So you should check it out.
If you don't know yet, Simone is at this point almost a house artist. He is joining Luke as one of our most used artists, along with other greats like Jim Agpalza, who did a new cover for us for a book dropping next month by Gina Rinaldi, who wrote the book that shall not be named.
For our own good.
For our safety, so much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we really need to talk about. Look, we have so many irons in the fire right now. Charles is writing a unplayable RPG as we speak. Bridget has a new short story coming out, it sounds like, which is going to be pretty fire because everything she does is fire.
The game next week.
Yeah, the game we're playing next week will be some Bridget content.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Next week's game. Bridget, what's the name of next week's game?
So next week's game is Horror on Epsilon 4. It was written by P.L. McMillan, and I contributed one of the pre-gen characters to it.
Fantastic. So we'll be playing that next week. We have all this stuff going on, so much stuff that you can get involved in. You can find us at OneMonCast. I also would encourage you, if you want to go to Linktree /MHP_horror, you can find links to literally everything. Everything we do, everything MHP does, everything MH Games does. Like it's all there. So I want to encourage people to use that because you can find links to the Wanmon Twitter. You can find links to the MHP Twitter. You can find links to the MH Games Twitter, all three of which Charles mans with astounding skill. Friends, I've said a lot of things. I said a lot of it in a terrible New York accent. So terrible, in fact, that most of you probably didn't realize that's what I was going for.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun.
So
Look out, I'm dying here.
we have a lot of fun on this show, and I hope you have a lot of fun watching this show, and then I hope you have a lot of fun going and playing these games with your own friends. A special shout out to Zen. Happy birthday, Zen. And on that note, I think there's nothing left to say.
I would like just to put one final thing in it before we do, as we usually thank Bog Wizard for the excellent intro outro music. I think that we should challenge Bog Wizard to either make a song or an album with something that's coming from the chat, which is non-Euclidean orifice, great band name or something like that. So if Bog Wizard can get on making a track called non-Euclidean orifice,
Love it. Yeah, awesome.
or bitten in the meat room.
Woof. On that note, there's literally nothing else to say. Ian, you need to stop with that kind of talk. It's gross. It's unprofessional. Friends, thank you so much for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. I have been John Baltusberger.
I have been Charles Rimward Bernard.
I've been Bridget Brave.
Been a prosciutto Furby with knife arms.
I barely got my buzzsaw to work. This is such a disappointment.
Butt saw.
We will be back next week. Until then, go ahead and fist those non-Euclidean orifices. Right all.